There are encounters that leave us bewildered, not because the other person is too beautiful or too captivating, but because something very strange happens inside. Not excitement, not desire, but a profound stillness so deep it makes your heart stop for a second. You look into their eyes, and in that moment, you no longer see another person. You see yourself on the other side. There are no boundaries left. There are no doubts about identity. Only a presence, full, simple, and so deep it cannot be described. It is not love in the ordinary sense. There is no lightning bolt, no blazing fire, only a faint light like dawn filtering through mist, not loud yet illuminating everything within you. When two awakened souls truly meet, no one falls for anyone. No one belongs to anyone. It is not destiny arranged, nor the luck of the universe. It is a recognition pure and eternal. They do not say, "I love you," because at a deeper level, there is no I and you. There is only consciousness expressing itself through two distinct forms, like two mirrors facing each other, reflecting into infinity, unable to tell where the beginning is or where the end is. And in the silence of that moment, there is one thing you feel with absolute clarity. I have known you long before we ever met. We grow up in a world filled with stories of true love, movies where two people find each other among millions, songs that promise, "As long as I have you, that's enough." We believe in that. And so, for our whole lives, we search for someone who can make us feel complete. But then, after the first days of passion, after the sweetness becomes familiar, a vague feeling begins to rise. Why is something still missing? We start to feel afraid when the other person is far from us, afraid when they stop paying attention, afraid when their eyes no longer look like they did in the beginning. And eventually, that fear turns into control. We no longer love to be close. We love in order not to be abandoned. Love like that looks intense from the outside, but inside, it hides a deep crack, the crack of two souls who have never felt enough. The two people think they are loving each other, but in truth, each is clinging to the other like a life raft. One fears loneliness, the other fears meaninglessness. And both hope that if they love enough, sacrifice enough, care enough, the emptiness inside will disappear. But it does not disappear. It is only temporarily filled by someone else's attention. Until they leave, and we are left facing ourselves again, empty once more. That is not love, but the crossing of two fears, two people coming together not to share, but to run away from themselves. And the tragedy is this: when we love out of fear of losing, we soon lose the love itself. If you look deeply into every pain in love, you will see it all begins with one very small belief, yet persistent, like an echo inside the heart. I am not enough. I am not beautiful enough. I am not intriguing enough. I am not enough for someone to stay. I am not worthy of love unless I do something to deserve it. And the moment we believe it, every act of love that follows becomes colored by the need to prove something. We no longer live in order to love. We love in order to be seen. We love to be recognized and appreciated, to be affirmed that we deserve to exist. But love is born of lack. No matter how beautiful it appears, it always carries within it a seed of fear. The more we love, the more we fear losing. The more we give, the more we worry about receiving less. The more we cling, the more we lose ourselves. Then, in the blindness of our longing to be loved, we begin to do very familiar things. We bend ourselves to please others. We stay silent to keep the peace. We sacrifice, but deep inside, we still hope the other person will notice that sacrifice. And when they don't, we feel betrayed. The truth is this: no one can fill the emptiness inside a person. If that emptiness is born of the belief that they are not enough, because the more they try to fill it, the wider that emptiness grows. We think the other person is the one hurting us. But sometimes, it is the belief in our own inadequacy that wounds us the most. When someone has not yet touched the wholeness within themselves, every love they seek outside will eventually turn into dependency. And that is why even in someone's arms, we can still feel lonely. And then one day, after you've gone through too many loves, you have loved, hurt, lost, and tried your absolute best to keep someone. Suddenly, you realize something quiet, yet profoundly haunting. No one can make me whole. It's not because they lack the necessary qualities. It's not that you don't deserve it. However, it's important to remember that wholeness does not originate from external sources. For the first time, you no longer blame anyone. Not the one who left, it was not the relationship that broke, but you begin to look inside yourself. Instead of criticizing, your goal should be to gain understanding. You come to realize that for numerous years, your love stemmed from fear. You weren't searching for a companion, you were searching for someone to prove that you deserved to exist. And when they left, it felt as if the whole world collapsed, because in them, you had placed all of your worth. The moment you realize that, a silence spreads inside you. It's not pain, but a release as gentle as a breath. You no longer want to find love. You begin to want to discover yourself. You no longer rush to fill the emptiness. You begin to want to sit within that emptiness and discover what insights it may offer you. That is when awakening begins. Not a radiant light, not a magical moment, but just a small shift, hushed yet irreversible. Because once you see that, everything you seek outside is only a reflection of what has been forgotten inside. You can no longer live the way you once did. From here on, you no longer search for someone to complete you. You begin to learn how to feel full even when you are alone. And strangely, when you no longer need to be loved to feel whole, that is when true love finally starts to come closer. When two souls have truly touched the wholeness within themselves, their meeting no longer carries the shape of destiny, but feels like two stars that happen to shine in the same sky. Not because they need each other to live, but because they recognize having each other is beautiful, and not having each other is still complete. They do not come to compensate, but to resonate, not to fill, but to expand. And precisely because there is no longer a need to possess anyone, they can see each other with a clarity and freedom in their gaze. No more tests, no more subtle guessing, no more silences filled with doubt. Only presence, soft as breath. When two awakened souls meet, love is no longer a negotiation between two egos, but becomes a dance between two freedoms. Each person is already full, so they do not lean on each other, but stand beside each other like two candles shining together, where one's light does not dim the other's. In that connection, no one needs to stay, but both want to stay. Not out of fear of losing, but out of the joy of coexisting. Not out of emptiness, but out of fullness. Love like this is no longer a demand, but a celebration. No longer, you make me happy, but your presence allows the happiness within me to bloom. Between them, there are no more silent contracts. You must be like this for me to feel at ease. You must be like that for me to feel safe. Because their safety no longer depends on anyone else. It comes from within, from a place no one can take away. When two awakened souls meet, their connection is not loud, not fiercely consuming, but steady like sunlight coming through the window each morning, quiet, gentle, yet nourishing everything it touches. And that is when you realize, love is no longer I need you, but I choose you, even though I am already whole. When two people have found fullness within themselves, the love between them is no longer an escape from loneliness, but a return to presence. They do not love to fill a void, but I love to see more clearly the nature of who they are. There is no need for clinging, proving, or measuring. Every moment together no longer carries the questions. Do you still love me? Or are you still here? But simply, we are here, and that is enough. That love carries the shape of freedom, like two musicians playing the same piece of music, each keeping their own rhythm, yet blending perfectly in the same frequency. No one needs to dominate the other's melody, because both understand harmony only exists when there is space for each other to breathe. Between them, there's no fear of losing, because neither intends to hold on. There's no demand of make me happy, because both know true happiness is not a gift given by someone else, but a light already present within their hearts. When love no longer comes out of need, everything becomes transparent. A hand to hold is no longer for reassurance, but to quietly say, we are coexisting in this moment. A kiss is no longer a promise, but an expression of gratitude for being alive. And strangely, precisely when they do not need each other, they can be together more deeply than anyone else. No more tension in the ego, only the soft melting of two souls is already whole. That love is like drinking water when you are not thirsty. You don't drink to survive, you drink to savor the clarity of life. In the same way, they do not love to exist, but to honor the beauty of their existence. This is love that is no longer a need, but the joy of being. No longer the sum of two lacks, but the harmony of two wholenesses. When you are not yet whole, love becomes a binding rope. But when you are awakened, love becomes a space where freedom can breathe. In ordinary relationships, we often unconsciously believe, if someone loves me, they will never change. We want them to always be gentle, always are ours, always say the things we want to hear. But at its core, that is not love. It is possession, disguised under the name affection. An awakened person understands that every soul is a river. No one can force water to stay still. If you try to hold it, it will dry up. If you let it flow, it will find its way back to the sea. Between two souls like that, there are no promises of forever, because they know eternity does not lie in words, but in their ability to be themselves, even while being together. Freedom does not mean leaving, but being allowed to exist fully without hiding any part of oneself. They can walk different paths. They can change, grow, and turn in new directions, and still see each other with eyes of understanding. Because they do not love the version they imagined, they love the person who is becoming. Instead, change and grow. But keep being yourself, even if that takes you far away. Awakened love does not say, you are mine. It whispers, you are free, and precisely because you are free, you choose to be here, in this moment. It is the kind of love that does not promise to stay forever, but is always true whenever it stays. And it is that very paradox, when no one tries to bind the other, that makes them more connected than ever. They understand that fear can never hold anyone back. They can only hold each other through presence. Love rooted in freedom does not need guarantees, because it is nourished by the deep trust that when there is nothing left to hold on to, only love remains. Between two awakened people, intimacy is no longer a game of emotions, but a space of absolute presence. They do not rush to touch each other to chase a feeling. They touch only when the inside has become still. Because only when the mind is quiet does a touch become transparent. They can sit beside each other for hours without saying a word. No need for conversation, no need for reassurance, only breath blending into breath, a peace so profound that even silence becomes a language. In that stillness, they do not try to connect, because they understand connection is not an action, but a state of the mind when it is no longer defending itself. When there is nothing left to prove, awareness begins to recognize itself in the other's gaze. Intimacy, then, is no longer confined to the body. It is the dissolution of distance when two souls stop standing opposite each other and merge into a single flow of life. Every glance, every gesture, every smile becomes a small meditation, leading them back to the present moment, where there is no you, no me, only being. Even when they love each other with their bodies, it is no longer possession, but a ritual of gratitude, not to prove passion, but to honor the fact that they are alive, feeling, and able to dissolve. No anxiety, no script, no fear of losing connection, because once awakened, they know you cannot lose what is inherently one. And for that very reason, they can be apart for a while and still feel as close as if they had never separated. Distance does not frighten them, because they know love does not require physical nearness to exist. When intimacy becomes meditation, each encounter is no longer the merging of two egos, but a meeting between two spaces, open, clear, and free. In that place, love is no longer something created. It is simply recognized as something that has always been there, long before the two ever met. Even when two souls have awakened, life does not stay tranquil forever. Waves of emotion still come like wind touching the surface of a lake, like the rainy season visiting a quiet garden. An awakened person does not try to avoid the waves. They learn to look directly at them. They know that everything that arises comes to illuminate what is still hidden within. Jealousy, hurt, anger are no longer enemies, but mirrors reflecting what is yet to be understood. When emotion rises, they do not ask, who is right, who is wrong? They ask, what is this pain trying to tell me? No need to blame, no need to defend the ego. They allow everything to be present, the confusion, the hurt, the silence, because they understand moving through the wave is the way back to the ocean. In an unawakened relationship, conflict is a battle between two selves. Each wants to win, and when one wins, both lose. But between two awakened souls, conflict becomes another meeting of love. They may feel sad, they may feel angry, but no one walks away. No one uses silence as punishment. No one turns hurt into a weapon, because they know when one person is in pain, both are in pain. And in that very moment, they choose what the ego would never choose: to listen. Not listening to respond, but listening to understand. Not to prove themselves right, but to feel what the other is carrying in their heart. Because an awakened person does not need to be right, they only need to be real. They do not need to win, they only need to understand. And when one person can listen with their whole heart, the wave loses its destructive force. It becomes the breath of the ocean. In awakened love, every conflict is no longer a threat, but an opportunity for both to reflect on themselves, to see that behind every wave there is always the still water of consciousness. Love, no matter how beautiful, cannot escape one unchanging law of life: impermanence. An awakened person understands these truths, and precisely because they understand, they do not try to hold on, not because they are cold or detached, but because they know that the more something grips them, the faster it dissolves. True love does not fear change, because it does not require guarantees. It is not a promise of forever, but a commitment to each moment that is truly lived. They love wholeheartedly. but without clinging. They cherish every second, but they do not turn it into a prison of, "It must always be this way." When you are not awakened, you live with fear in your heart. Will they leave me? But when you are awake, you love with a different kind of peace. Even if they go, this love will remain, because it never was mine. It always belonged to life itself. An awakened person does not fear losing the one they love, because they know nothing has ever truly belonged to them. Love cannot be possessed. It can only be accompanied, witnessed, and appreciated. They do not say, "Stay with me forever." They say, "Stay here as long as our hearts move in the same rhythm. And if one day the paths diverge, there will be no hatred, only a silent blessing carried by the wind." Thank you for walking with me through a part of my awakening. Love like this does not need to end in heartbreak, because every stretch of the path has already been completed. No one needs to make promises, because this present moment is already enough. Only when you learn to let go do you truly learn how to love. You can only touch the pure essence of love when you stop trying to hold on. Can you touch the pure essence of love? Something that belongs to no one, yet flows through everything. And the paradox is this: precisely when you no longer fear losing, love stays longer, deeper, and freer than ever before. When two awakened souls live together, their life is no longer a series of days searching for grand moments, but a journey of recognizing the sacredness in the smallest things. No need for romantic candlelit nights, just cooking a simple meal together. No need for promises of going to the end. Just wash the dishes side by side, listening to the sound of water, and that's enough. For an awakened person, every moment becomes meditation. Every action becomes a ritual. They do not search for happiness somewhere far away. They find it in the most ordinary things, the way the other smiles while pouring tea, the way morning light rests on each other's shoulders, the way they sit in silence and still understand with no extra words needed. Because once you have touched the depth of presence, you realize there is no special moment to wait for. There is only this moment. And if you live fully inside, every moment becomes special. Awakened people do not love through intensity, but through a steady peace. They do not need peaks to feel alive, because they have found life in every breath. When two people are awakened together, differences are no longer a problem. One person is quiet, the other does not feel abandoned. One person is sad, the other does not try to force happiness. Because they know presence is the highest form of love. In their small home, everything seems very ordinary: 2 cups of coffee, a book, and a quiet afternoon. But for them, that is heaven in its simplest form. They no longer chase special emotions, because they have realized special is in the way we see. And in that way of seeing, even when life presents the most mundane tasks, washing dishes, sitting in traffic, paying bills, all of it carries the light of the sacred. Because what creates the miracle is not where we go, but the level of awakening we bring along the journey. At the deepest point of awakened love, something miraculous happens. The boundary between me and you dissolves, not because they merge into one in a romantic sense, but because both step out of the illusion that there are 2 separate beings. Love at this moment is no longer a relationship between 2 people, but the flow of consciousness recognizes itself. When they look into each other's eyes, they no longer see the other. They see the universe reflecting back at them. They see life witnessing itself in the infinite play of existence. No more "I love you," only love lives through us. No more "we belong to each other," but we both belong to life. This is the moment when the last layer of ego dissolves. There is no one left to possess. Nothing is left to lose. Love no longer needs to be held because it has become the essence of everything. In this state, silence is no longer the empty space between two people, but the very voice of love. Every glance, every breath, every smile becomes a nameless prayer. And then you realize love was never something to seek. It does not begin when we meet someone. It does not end when someone leaves. It has always been there, hidden in every light, every breath, every step. When two awakened souls meet, they do not create love. They simply remove what hides the love that was already there. And in that moment, they are no longer two people in love, but love reflecting itself through two forms. There's no need to speak of forever, because they understand what never begins can never end. And that is the ultimate nature of all awakened love. No more fear, no more demands, no more you and me. Only a complete stillness where love is not an emotion, but life itself breathes through human hearts.